Welcome to Church Girl Gang, a podcast where we get to talk about life, living for Jesus, and everything in between, and how that affects us in the here and now. My name is Kenzie, and I'll be your host, and I can't wait to dive into this conversation with you. Hey Church Girl, my name is Kenzie, and I will be your host for today's podcast. Welcome to the Church Girl Gang podcast. I'm so excited because we're jumping into a brand new season in a brand new year, 2022. It is going to be fantastic. We've got so much ahead of us, and thank you so much for joining us for today's podcast. Listen, if it's your first time listening to the podcast, I just want to let you know that this podcast is for girls of all ages who love Jesus and want to spend their lives following after him. And also, let me just say, welcome to you. Thanks for joining us. You've got great taste in podcasts, okay? Obviously, if you're here, you've got fantastic taste. And so before we dive into the rest of today's episode, I just want to encourage you, brag a little bit. Let your friends know what wonderful taste you have in podcasts by sharing this, pressing the share button on whatever platform you are on. You can also post today's episode on your Facebook, on your Twitter, and even on your Insta story. It is so easy. So take a minute and do that right now. Listen, girls, it is a brand new year, 2022. And if you're anything like me, then you may be experiencing a lot of mixed emotions. So for me personally, I've been fleshing this out with a lot of different friends because I am a verbal processor. I don't know if anyone else out there is a verbal processor, but me, in order to get my thoughts and emotions in order, I just kind of have to speak them. So I've been talking about this with a lot of my friends. But when the year ends, I think it's cool to look back and see all that has happened and all that I've accomplished and just be really proud of that. But on the other hand, I always get a little sad that the year is over. And sometimes I even get a little sad about not accomplishing as much as I thought I might. It's kind of a weird vibe for me. Usually at the end of the year, like December 31st, January 1st, I'm feeling a little weird. I don't really know how to describe it. Maybe a little anxious just because I start thinking about all the things that I didn't do, or I think about all the things I accomplished. And then I think, oh my gosh, I've got to have some more accomplishments in this coming year. How am I going to do it again? Those sorts of emotions. It's funny though. I was telling my friends that once I actually kind of jump into the year, not just getting my toes wet, but, full body jump in. I start feeling really great. I start feeling really excited about the year ahead. But just going back to some things that maybe I didn't accomplish so well in the past year, I tried to, and I think I even talked about this on the podcast a little bit, if you go back to some of our earlier episodes, but I tried to read the Bible in a year and I failed miserably. Like it was really bad. I tried to get super fit. I was like, yes, this is my year to get super fit. And even though I did make progress, I've made some good progress, and I'm continuing to make some progress in that, I never quite accomplished what I wanted. Maybe my fitness goals were too lofty. I don't know, but we're still pushing through that one. I wanted to finally get my office fixed up, and unfortunately also a work in progress. And really it's my own fault. I just haven't spent time doing it. In fact, I think that's a great way to put it. Work in progress. That's how a lot of my goals ended up looking like over the past year, like a work in progress. Like I did a little bit. I'm still continuing to do a little bit. I haven't given up on them. I'm still working on them, but they're just not wrapping up as quickly as I thought they would. I don't know if you've ever heard this said before, but my dad always tells me life is long and life is short. All this talk about goals, it really has me thinking about that, the fact that life is both long and short. The idea is this, like you've got a lot of time to spend in your lifetime. So don't stress it too much. On the other hand, make sure to spend your time wisely because it'll just pass you by and you don't want to waste it. This little sentiment is echoed in the Psalms, actually Psalm 103, 14 through 16. So you can check it out for yourself. It says this, "For he knows," that's God, "we are but dust, and that our days are few and brief, like grass, like flowers, blown by the wind and gone forever." Listen, y'all, time is precious. And that's why one of my biggest goals this year is to find ways to enjoy every day as much as possible. I'm still kind of working on figuring out how to simplify what I mean by this goal. But basically, I've always tried to set a standard for myself of always having something to look forward to. Now, before I unpack any of my goals anymore, I just want to take a second and share some of your New Year's goals. So we posted on Instagram just a quick question of what are your New Year's goals. And listen, if you're not already following us on Instagram, I want to encourage you to go do that. Our handle is @ChurchGirlGang. So it couldn't be easier for you to find. But go follow us on Instagram and interact with us, and you might be featured on the podcast. Okay, so here are some goals that you guys submitted. Bethany Phillips Photography said, "Go to the gym, eat healthy, spend more time in the Word." Those are fantastic goals. Me too, girl. Adriana Leiter said, "To journal my entire year. I usually start a journal and never continue. So far, I'm doing great." Good job. And Meg, friend of the podcast, she said, "My goal is to pay off debt and to write more original music." You guys, y'all have some fantastic goals. I'm so excited for you. And I can't wait to hear how you accomplish your goals in the new year. So as a tried and true Enneagram 7 over here, usually for me, when it comes to goals, especially when the going gets tough, I have a lot of trouble not getting going, like not running away, okay? When the going gets tough, my first instinct is to just like, boop, duck out, you know? And by that, I guess I mean I struggle with contentment, like a lot. As silly as it sounds, when I get into frustrating or difficult situations, the inner me starts feeling like whatever is going on in the moment is really just going to last forever. I've got this little voice in my head that's like, hey, this boring situation or this hard situation, it's probably going to be like this forever, which actually sounds crazy when I say it out loud. But that's the voice that I'm hearing in my head. That's the thought that I'm hearing inside my head. Listen, that's not usually true, okay? Not every situation is going to last forever. And just because you have one bad or difficult or frustrating day doesn't mean that every day is going to be that way. Every day, we know this, that every day is a new opportunity for brand new things to come your way. And you never know what God may be doing behind the scenes. That's something that I have to remind myself over and over and over again. In fact, Isaiah 45:15 says just that. It says, "Clearly, you are a God who works behind the scenes, God of Israel, Savior, God." Man, how many of us feel like sometimes we need a Savior in our situations? He's the one. Ephesians 3:20 says, "God can do anything, you know, far more than you could ever imagine or guess or request in your wildest dreams. He does it not by pushing us around, but by working within us, His Spirit, deeply and gently within us. God is always working and moving. So, to help me remember that things are not always staying the same, that I can make it through monotony or boring or frustrating moments, I always try to have something to look forward to. It's a little trick that's kind of helped me stay on track. So in the past, some things that I've used just to look forward to things. In the past, it's been something like maybe a good meal that I'm excited about having. Come on, you guys. How many of you like food doesn't get you excited? So anyway, a good meal, maybe going on a little weekend adventure. Sometimes I like to try new restaurants or have, new experiences, go to the park, or go hiking one weekend, something like that, a little weekend adventure. Maybe I have a little shipment coming in the mail and I can look forward to that. Maybe a new episode of my favorite show. You guys know all those Marvel shows coming out. Really gets me excited, gives me something to look forward to. But you get the idea, always having something to look forward to, even if it's a small little thing that's going on. And I will say this has helped me get past the difficult or boring moments to always have something to look forward to. Over the past few months, though, I've begun to realize that I'm always doing this looking ahead type of thing. I'm always saying, I can't wait until XYZ, fill in the blank, whatever it is. And I'm never focused on enjoying or even really living in the present moment. I've got lots of cool things going on. I'm enjoying life, and it has been a little life hack that has helped me move past things in my life that I don't enjoy. But instead of being excited about the next thing, I want to learn to be excited about now. Instead of just getting ready for the next season, I want to begin to truly enjoy this season. And so that is my biggest goal for the year. The Apostle Paul learned that lesson really well, and he put it this way. He said, I have learned in whatever situation I am to be content. I know how to be brought low, and I know how to abound. In any and every circumstance, I have learned the secret of facing plenty and hunger, abundance and need. I can do all things through him who strengthens me. And that one's found in Philippians 4:11 through 13, if you want to go check it out for yourself. See, I think the thing that I need to work on the most is contentment, a daily contentment that can only come from the Holy Spirit. I want to learn how to be present in every moment and not just enjoy little moments during the week, but truly learn to enjoy my day-to-day life. Now, I understand there will still be moments of sacrifice or frustration. Some moments, honestly, are just not enjoyable, right? But I really think that if I'm living a life surrendered to God, I can find joy in the day-to-day in things like scrubbing the toilets or typing up spreadsheets, okay? In fact, I'm sure as I walk through this, I'll learn more along the way, and I can't wait to share what I'm learning with you guys. But I think that the major key to this, and this is something I'm going to try to be focusing on, is found in 1 Corinthians 10:31. It says this, so whether you eat or drink or whatever you do, do all to the glory of God. It's about being surrendered to God and remembering who he is and what he's done in every moment, or at least as many moments as possible, okay? It's about keeping my eyes on the prize, focused on eternity. Now, before we go any further, I want to take a minute and tell you about one of our sponsors. And this one is really special to me. I've gotten to see it in action, see it in motion, and that is Connection Christian Academy. CCA is a K-5 hybrid homeschool located in beautiful Utah, Texas. Their mission is to provide kids not only with a fantastic learning experience and environment, but also give kids leadership tools that they can use for the rest of their lives while also sharing the love of Christ. With everything going on in the world today, it just seems obvious that kids should be learning in an environment like this. And it couldn't be easier as the staff has worked hard to make tuition extremely affordable. So, what are you waiting for? If you're in Austin, Hays County, San Marcos, or the surrounding areas, do not hesitate. Head to myconnectionacademy.com for more info and to apply today. So, now that I've shared with you my biggest goal of the year, I'm going to share with you a few smaller goals that I've made for myself, and maybe we might have some goals in common. And if so, let's connect and let's cheer each other on. By the way, if you don't know, you can find me on basically any social media platform. Just search at Kenzie Carisse, at Kenzie Carisse. And that's linked in the show notes as well. So check that out and maybe we can connect about our New Year's goals. Of course, I'm going to be continuing to focus on my fitness and health over the next year. Last year was like just an incredible year of learning and growing for me when it came to fitness and exercise. And I learned a lot about weightlifting and form. And I actually took up kickboxing towards the end of the year, which I love. I'm so obsessed with that. And I've been continuing to do that. Both have been so fun for me because I really do enjoy like staying active and working out. This year, I'd like to find a way to incorporate both into my weekly routine. So we'll see how that goes. Right now, I've been trying to do that. I've started off this month with a 2-day challenge for myself. So what I've been doing is doing both types of exercises 4 days a week on the same day. That's been tough so far. I'm on week 2, but just trying to work it out. We'll see how that goes. I'll keep you guys updated. I'm also going to continue working on and learning about nutrition and how I can get the most out of what I eat. If you guys have any tips, let me know. I'd love to hear them. I've also, once again, begun working on reading through the Bible this year. This time though, I think I found something that's going to work a lot better for me. I'm going through a plan on the Bible app. So before I was using a physical Bible, and my problem with the physical Bible is it was heavy and I felt like I couldn't just take it with me anywhere. The Bible app, it's so handy, and I can take it with me anywhere. I'm really excited to be doing this. And the other reason I think this is going to work a lot better is because I'm doing it with friends. So there's a lot more accountability in doing that. If you'd like to join me, I will post a link to the Bible app plan that you can go through for yourself as well. It's not too late to start. We're still just a few days in, So if this is something you're wanting to do, join us, catch up. It'll be really, really fun. Another goal I'm working through this year is learning more about my finances and how to handle my money well. So I'm kicking off the year by taking a Financial Peace University course. I'm super pumped for this course, and maybe I can share more about how that's going in a few weeks. But I'm just wanting to learn how I can get the most out of my money instead of my money getting the most out of me. So I'm going to be doing that as well. And a final goal that I have is to read a book a month. And this one should actually be pretty simple for me because usually I'm a really avid reader. When I am reading, like when I'm actually doing that, I usually average a book every 10 days or so. I really love reading. However, over the holidays, like probably starting in October or something like that, I kind of just stopped reading. I felt like I was really busy And so my goal now is to try to just read one book a month, get back into it, because it is super fun. And I do feel like reading knowledge, it's so important for just your personal growth, mental growth, but also spiritual growth. It's so good. So I'm planning on hopping back on that. So send me your book suggestions if you've got any, people. I would love to hear them. I'd love to read what you're reading. It'd be really cool. So I'm hoping that all of these goals turn out well. But what I'm wondering is, what are your plans for the year ahead? Some of you have already shared them, but I would love to hear more of your goals for the year ahead, to encourage you, to celebrate with you as you go through these goals. So what you can do is drop them in the comments below this video if you're watching the video version, or you can DM us by going to @ChurchGirlGang on Instagram so we can hear what your New Year's goals are. I'm so excited for you. I can't wait to hear what God does in your heart and in your life over the year ahead. This is going to be a fantastic season of the podcast. So thank you so much for joining us and being a part of the podcast this year. Listen, we love you. Have a great week. And we'll talk to you soon, Church Girl. Hey, thanks so much for joining us for another episode of Church Girl Gang. If you enjoyed listening to this and want to help us grow the gang, be sure to leave a 5-star review on whatever platform you are listening on. If you're on YouTube right now, be sure to hit the subscribe button and the notification bell so you don't miss an episode. You can connect with the Church Girl Gang and say hello on Facebook or Instagram, and also feel free to connect with me personally on all social media platforms. All you have to do is search @Kenzie Carisse, or you can head to kenziecarisse.com for more content just like this. Bye.